So I'm going to teach you guys how to make the daisy stitch. Doesn't really matter what size hook you use, it just depends on what you're trying to make. But just for kicks, I'm using an eye hook and just regular yarn. I'm going to put a loop on my hook. And you need to chain and start out with a multiple of 4 plus 2. So I'm going to chain 18. You're just going to skip the first 2 and go into the third chain. Just go right in and drop a loop, into the next and drop a loop, into the next and drop a loop, into the next and drop a loop. So you should have 5 loops on your hook. You're just going to yarn over and go through all the loops on your hook and then chain 1, and that puts your first star stitch or daisy stitch in your work. So then to make the next one, you're going to go in, put your hook into the middle stitch of your daisy stitch and drop a loop, and into the last stitch of your daisy stitch and pull up a loop. Then you're going to go into the next working chain and drop a loop, and the next work in the chain and drop a loop. So you should have 5 loops on your hook again, yarn over and draw through all the loops on your hook and chain 1. So you've made your second star stitch or daisy stitch. You're just going to repeat that all the way down the row. Into the middle loop of your star and drop a loop, into the last stitch of your star and drop a loop, into the next chain and drop a loop, into the next chain and drop a loop, yarn over and through all 5 loops and chain. Repeat it. Middle loop of your star, end loop of your star, next chain, yarn over and draw through all the loops on your hook, chain, middle loop of the star, last loop of the star, next chain, yarn over and draw through all the loops, chain 1, through the middle, through the end, next chain, yarn over and go through all of them, chain 1, last one, middle loop, end loop, next chain, last chain, yarn over and draw through all of them, and then chain 1. That finishes your first row of daisy stitches. But now when you go to work the yarn the opposite direction, you don't want to put your daisy stitches on the back side. So like if I turn my work now and started doing daisy stitches this way, they wouldn't show on the front of my yarn, they'd show on the back of my work. So I just need to do a row of single crochet stitches all the way across. And that gets tricky in your little spaces, but don't forget them. And then chain 1 and turn your work back over, and then you can do another row of daisy stitches. So when you start every row, you just go into the first, drop a loop, second, drop a loop, third, drop a loop, fourth, drop a loop, yarn over and go through all 5 loops, chain 1, and there you made your first star stitch, and you can repeat down the row like we did the first row. So in the center, in the end, in the first stitch, in the next stitch, yarn over and draw through all of them, chain 1, center, end, next chain, yarn over, chain 1. So you can see that a row of star stitches and then our row of single crochets so that we can get our stars back on the front, and then we started our next row of star stitches. So you can just keep on. You can make a really cute scarf or a blanket or anything. It's a really neat stitch that gives an intricate pattern.